my dear students, this is Tiru Sir, your SST teacher. So welcome to the online classes of Sri Eknathara Hist Talent English Medium School Muktanan. So dear students, today we are going to learn the NCERT textbook, history. The first chapter is what, where, have and when. So in these lessons, these four elements, so whenever you're going to focus or understand or to collect something in history, historical events, so at the time these four elements are very, very important. These four elements are very, very important. So listen to me first things. So what are just I told you, what, where, how and when. So these are very important. So first we are going to discuss what. Suppose listen, whenever making, if you want to know something, some 2 days back or 3 days back matter. So making questions. What happened yesterday? What did you eat yesterday? What did you wear yesterday? What type of house you made 1 year back? So these are, means whenever making some questions to know about some things, so we are using what. Are you getting my point what I'm saying? So like that, this four elements, among the four elements, this is one of them, what. So what, when we're making questions, at the time it used to come to us, the ancient peoples, what they're eating, what they're wearing, and what type of house they're making, and what type of civilization was at the time. So these all the things we came to know by the making questions what. It is very simple answer, and it is very interesting lessons that we can understand about food. Just like what we can understand about food, clothes, clothes, next houses. So in our India, so different type of peoples are living outside industrial civilization, Aryan civilization. So different civilizations are coming to India and they're living different places, and they're wearing different types of clothes, they're eating different type of foods, and they're making different type of clothes. So these all are we can understand by making questions what. That's why these four elements are very, very important to know the historical things into historical places, the living standard of historical peoples, each and everything. These all very, very important. So later we are just going to discuss something else. So I'm reading some paragraph just you can understand better. Okay. What can you know about the past? There are several things we find out what people ate, what kind of clothes they wear, the houses in which they lived, and we can find out about the lives of hunters, herders, farmers, rulers, merchants, priests, crafts, persons, artists, musicians, and scientists. We can also find out about the games children played, the stories they heard, the play they saw, the song they sang. Next, this already I get a good explanation for you that what they're wearing, what they're eating, what the children are playing, what type of games they're playing, Okay, what are the things are doing in the past? What type of weapons are using in hunters, whatever it is. So these all are when you make questions what you can get all the informations. Are you getting my point? So now we are going to discuss where. Where. So where it comes different things. Where means by these questions we came to know that where this common point I'm going to write some little bit common points that you can understand easily. First things where generally first point gathering food, gathering food. Second point is hunters. Third point is animal rearing. Fourth point is travel. Fifth one is war. And sixth one is kingdoms. So dear the students, listen to me very carefully. This is the Indian map I have drawn before. So first things means gathering food. Those are gathering foods. Means where they're gathering, what they're gathering. So these are all the things. So before this, we can understand for this point that the ancient peoples generally they lived in river bank of India. Means different type of river banks. First, the civilization has created on the bank of rivers. First, so we have the just a little bit. We will get the what map pointing river maps. So I'm drawing. You listen carefully. So this is first peninsular rivers. I am going to draw. So this is called Sindhu River or Indus River. Sindhu River or Indus River. And this one can. This is called Ganga River. Here one river can. This is called Brahmaputra River. Here some river. Here also one river. Damodar River. Here some river. Mahanadi River. Here some river. Godavari River and Krishna River. Here some river. That is Kaveri River. Here some river. Tapi River and Narmada River. Here some river. Mahi River. And here some river. Which is Luni River. So in this way total different types of rivers are present. So each and every river's bank the different type of human civilization has created. So when you are making the questions where, so these all the things will come and these all the things we came to know that where the peoples are lived and what is how they lived. Okay, and in this place where they are gathering food and where they are hunting and here not only the rivers but also different type of mountains are present. So all the mountains means the ancient peoples are rearing cattle. Cattle means what? Goats, sheep. cow. So these all are their rearing. Rearing means palan karma, घर में रखना. So they're giving and they're rearing. So there's such type of people they're living in the mountainous areas. Why? Because they need to grass, isn't it? The cattle need grasses. That's why they're settled in the mountains areas. So in that places they are rearing much more animals and they're living there. So in this way, they're living in that places. So by this my questions where we can answer this, all the things is of ancient peoples. So next we are going to do travel. So the students and the ancient peoples, how they travels, okay, from where to where they are going to travels. Abroad peoples also coming to India and Indian peoples also go to other countries. So at the time, so the Chinese people also came to India, just Philippines, Venture. So such type people they are traveling to India to serve here culture and here activities, whatever maybe to learn something. They came to they used to come to India and they want to learn something here. So in this way, different type of travel. So the traveling also is very important point in ancient peoples. So next we're going to do work. So each and every place is different. In India, it creates, it shows the different type of places where the different type of work concurred or happens. And for example, if I say Jhelum River, so in the Jhelum River, the great Puru fought with Alexander. So different places, a different type of war occurred in the ancient period. So these all are we can come to know by the using the element where. Or get my point? I hope you understand properly. So these all the things is we have to read the history a geographically way. Or get my point? This history by making maps and everything in a geographically process we can read the history. Are you getting my point? Because this is the geography. Why India map and in the places this all so this is coming under geography. But by using these things, we come to know the where means what type of people, where they're living and what they're eating, what they're doing and what they're wearing and how they're doing. So these all the things is we came to know by the using map each and everything. That's why history generally in this sense history studied as geographically way. I hope you can understand properly. So next, so it is what given, very simply given here. See, find the river Narmada and map. People have lived along the banks of rivers for several hundred thousands of years. Some of the earliest people who lived here were skilled gatherers. That is, people who gathered the food. They knew about the vast wealth and plants of surrounding forest and collected roots, fruits, and other fruits produced for their food. They also hunted animals. Now find the uh, Sulaiman and Krita hills to the northwest, tribal peoples. Some of the years where the man and woman first began to grow crops such as wheat and barley. About 8,000 years ago, located here, people also began rearing animals like sheep, goat, cattle, and village and locate Garo hills to the northeast and Vindhyas in central India. So these were some of other areas where agriculture developed. The places where the rice and first grown are the north of the Vindhyas. So trust the river Indus and its tributaries. Tributaries are small rivers that flow into large river about 4,700 years ago. Some of the early cities flourished on the bank of these rivers. So later, about 2,500 years ago, cities developed on the bank of Ganga and its tributaries and along with the sea coast. Next location. So located the Ganga and its tributaries is called the shore. In ancient times, the areas along these rivers now lie in the state of Bihar. Its rulers were very powerful and set up a large kingdom. Kingdoms were set up in the other parts of the countries as well. Throughout the people traveled from one part to subcontinent to other. The hills and high mountains, including the Himalayas, desert rivers, deserts, rivers, and sea made journey dangerous at times, but never impossible. So men and women moved in such a livelihood as also to escape from natural disaster, like foods or drugs. Sometimes men marched in armies conquering others' lands. Or besides, merchants traveled with caravans or ships carrying valuable goods from place to place. So, and religious teachers walked from village to village, town to town, stopping off the instruction and advice on the way. So finally, some people perhaps traveled driven by a spirit of adventure, also wanted to discover a new exciting places all these lists and to sharing an idea between peoples. Why do people travel nowadays? So look at the map point one. Once more, hills, mountains, and seas from the natural frontiers of the subcontinent. While it was difficult to cross this frontier, these who wanted to could be the scale and mountains and cross the seas. People from across the frontiers also came into subcontinent and settled here. This movement of people and this of culture tradition. People have said now a new way of carving stones, composing music, and even cooking food over several hundred of years. Hey, so listen to me, because I have explained already these things. So generally, the peoples are living, means those people who are living in ancient times. And then they used to do different type of things. Those who are gathering food, they know very well about each and everything of the forest. Means what type of things are where it is situated and when how much it is situated, what it is situated, each and everything. The forest people knows very well. Those because they're always going to gathering food and rearing the animals and hunting animals. So in this way, they well known about the forest each and everything. That's why they came to know each and everything properly and individually. This is very very important point. In this way, they came to know where it happens. So now you know very well that different many cities and towns are present. But in ancient years, there was no cities and townships and everything. Very rarely, very rare case, some little bit generally started in where river areas. So small civilization started from river areas. Gradually it had changed and gradually it developed, started to develop. And though the population increasing day by day, that's why according to the population, the civilization also gradually developed and gradually changed into modernization. So in this way, the different types of peoples are traveling to one place to another places by using depend upon the food crops and depend upon the food items and depending upon the animals. Why? Because suppose some places they're sitting there competing the food items and animals. So what they will do? They have to change another places. In this way, they travel to one place to another places in search of food, in search of what hunting animals, etc. Then after many years they started agriculture, they started crops. Then after gradually they started to settle one place and they started to make the different type of crops and crop items. In this way the peoples are settled in specific places. Then after the cities, villages, cities, towns gradually developed. Okay. Next, we are going to discuss our name of India. So let you see that. So first thing, Indian. How the name came India, Bharat. So generally, the ancient people says that the first the Indus civilization peoples means those came from other continents to India. So when they are living in Indus Valley, I mean Indus River, back of Indus River, at the time they were used to call Indus civilization people or Indus civilization. So according to the Indus, gradually changed into Indian. After came Britishers, they changed it into India. Indoors, indoors, then after India. So let us see, I'm reading the paragraph, listen carefully. Two of the words are often used for our country are India and Bharat. India and Bharat. How it is derived? Let me read first. The word India comes from Indus. Just sometime before I explained you, called Sindhu in Sanskrit. Sindhu river. The name is Sindhu river, which word came from Sanskrit. Find Iran and Greece in your atlas. The Iranians and the Greeks who came to the northwest about 2500 years ago and were familiar with the Indus call it Indus or the Indus. And the land to the east of the river was called India. The name Bharata was used for a group of people who lived in the northwest and who mentioned in the Rig Veda. The earliest composition in Sanskrit dated about 3500 years ago. Later it was used for the country. So generally this Bharata means the northwest side, one is historical was there, some historical events that Bharata named one king, he was very good king. So according to his name, our country named as a Bharat. Our country name as a Bharat. Are you getting my point? So in this way, true name came to our country. That's why some people are saying India and some people are saying Bharat. Bharat. Very nice name of our country, isn't it? So now we are going to do something. Next element, that is how. Okay. So these two things, how and when I will make the another video. So this is part one. This is part two. Okay, thank you.